Great day, everyone. I hope everybody's off to a great start. Um, if you're able to watch this live, thank you so much for tuning in. You catch the replay. Thank you for watching the replay. If you have any questions or concerns about anything, please feel free to reach out to me. I am a belief therapist, life coach, organizer, and newly 3 times best-selling author. So if you have questions, just let me know. I am accessible. Okay. So today I want to talk about how we get caught up in these cycles of stagnancy, that is. And I do have my notes. So if you see me looking down, I'm just reading to stay on task. So, stagnancy. Stagnancy is created. We do know that. Um, and if we take accountability, there are actions on our part that causes us to get caught up in these cycles. These vicious cycles is what I call them. And I call them vicious because they are. These cycles will rob you of the life you desire if you don't put an end to it. So there are maybe four phases of the cycle before it becomes a complete a complete thing. So I'm going to talk about each one, and then I have 4 ways to kind of rid yourself of getting in this place, or prevent yourself from getting in such a place. So this is what happens. This is how it starts. We make a mistake. This is how it starts. Just a mistake, simple mistake. Um, and of course, it could be a simple mistake, but if you were a child that made a mistake and was ridiculed for it, was yelled at, probably got a beat down, this is why as an adult, you withdraw when you make a small mistake. So I just wanted to make sure I tied that together, because as a certified belief therapist, I do help people trace the origin of things and heal their inner child. So if you think about something you have attempted to do, but in your opinion, it wasn't as perfect as you'd like it to be. So that's what we're calling a mistake. So, I mean, just think about something. It could be anything. Simple, very, very simple. And you withdrew. You were like, nope, we ain't doing this. So just think about that. And then the second thing you do, you beat yourself up for the mistake, literally. Because what we don't admit is we have inner chatter that's constantly, girl, look what you did. I can't believe you did this. Girl, you should have done that. Why you didn't do it? Why you even tried to do this? That's what's going on inside. And this is my advice to you. Give that inner voice a name. And when it start going off like that, you need to tell it to shut up. Just that simple. So you get discouraged. First of all, you told too many people what you had going on. And more than likely, they were probably rooting for you to fail anyway, because people do that. Like, y'all would be surprised. You'd be surprised at who does it. Because the people you think that's on your team and riding for you, those are the ones that's doing it. And as I've said before on my podcast, we are powerful people. We are. So if we get on one accord with the same thought process, and we're exerting the same emotion and energy toward a thing, things happen, be it good or bad, because there's no disclaimer. So it doesn't mean only the good stuff we get on one accord about. No, the bad stuff too. So imagine telling a bunch of the wrong people what you got going on, and they may not actually tell each other we're going to root for her failure, but everybody's doing it. So that's created chaos. And now you've succumbed to the chaos because you've completely given up on yourself because you're so discouraged. So when I say we make a mistake and then we beat ourselves up about it, that's part of the beating yourself to death about it. And you're embarrassed, you're humiliated, and all of that causes you to sink into a deep pit. So you make the mistake, then you beat yourself up about it. Now, pay attention. because all of every phase that I'm talking about is structure that you're wiring into your own brain. You are doing this. This is why I tell people, yeah, God is great. Yes. And you can pray. And yeah, things happen when you pray. But you got to change too. You have control over your mind and your thoughts and your healing and your rewiring of your brain. You have work to do as well. Is praying part of the work? Absolutely. But there's still something else for you to do. Because if you're just praying and waiting on something to fall out of the sky, that's kind of not how that works. So the next thing you do after you make the mistake, you've beat yourself up about it, you avoid trying new stuff because of that, because of the mistake, because you beat yourself up every single day. You're wired that brain structure in. So now subconsciously you're fearful and you're not trying to go back there again. So you avoid trying new things in an effort to protect yourself. This is now become your security blanket. It has now become your protection. It has now become the thing that the defense, the mechanism that you use to make sure that doesn't ever happen to you again, which is a problem. So many opportunities will present themselves to you, but because you keep replaying the mistake, you keep replaying the inner chatter, you keep replaying the humiliation and the embarrassment, you have missed out on opportunities because you have wired in to your mindset and protected yourself in a way that's actually detrimental. And then you call it, I'm waiting on God. When in actuality, you don't want to experience the same experience that you experienced before. Rather than taking what you experienced, learn from it, and then apply the skills, the growth moving forward, you've completely halted your life and then blaming it or saying you're waiting on God when you know deep down that's not the truth, because 10 years have passed by. Well, who you still waiting on? And then the last thing, the last phase of creating this cycle of stagnancy is that we only do what's safe. And that's where the stagnancy comes in, because you're going to be stuck. That's where you get stuck, because you're only going to do what's safe. You're only going to do what's comfortable. You're only going to do the things that are within the confines of your little box, because if I do this stuff, I know this is not going to embarrass me. This is not going to humiliate me. I'm not going to make any mistakes. I'm just going to stay right here. When growing, you are going to make mistakes. I own a business. You think I didn't make any mistakes? I did, but I didn't quit. I just tweaked the strategy. And I say that all the time. Don't abandon ship, tweak the strategy. I own a business. I raised a daughter. She's 17 years old. I made mistakes, but I didn't just give my daughter away because I made mistakes. I didn't just say, you know what, just go live with somebody else. So that in that moment right there, this is how you build up to the place of stagnancy. Because you have great dreams and great desires, but you're going to stay in this little confine, going to stay in this little prison that you've created for yourself, because you don't want to happen to you now what happened to you before. I've talked to people who want to start businesses, but things didn't go right 10, 15 years ago. And that's why they won't move forward with the business they want to start. This is how we get stuck. This is how we're getting stuck. So you do everything in your power to remain safe from embarrassment. Now you're stuck doing what's safe versus what you truly desire. stagnancy. And you're really, you're really miserable. You don't really like what you're doing, but you're doing it because it's safe. It's safe. You have all of this greatness in you, and you're sticking to what's safe. Yeah. So, 4 ways you can kind of break this thing and tackle them one at a time. Number one, you got to trust yourself. Trust yourself. You didn't make a mistake. It's just something you probably just didn't know. But with the little research, you learn the correct way to do something, then you apply the correction. It's like when you're writing a paper. I journal all the time. And sometimes I write my blogs on my paper before I actually publish them. If I make a mistake, I just put some corrector on it. It's that simple. I don't throw the whole blog away. I don't give up on blogging. When I first started blogging, my structure was a hot mess. But I've grown so much in my writing that now I'm writing blogs for a magazine. Now, had I not done it because my structure was so off, I wouldn't be where I am today. Reframe the experience. Look at it like it's not, don't look at it like it's a failure. Look at it like it's an opportunity for growth. And that's the problem. That's the problem that we have. Our perspective is way off. This is an opportunity for me to grow. This is not a failure. Remember, tweak the strategy. Don't abandon ship. Remember that. Get you a life coach. Coming from a life coach here. We just, I say we because it's myself and 9 other authors, just released our book, The Coaches Connect, The Missing Link Between Goals and Accomplishments yesterday. We celebrated it yesterday, and we also became best-selling authors. We were number 1 in 3 categories. Get you a life coach. Get the book. You can find it on my website. My website is right there on the banner. But read the book. Read the book, people. And at the end of every chapter, you'll have access to the coach that you need. Because you may be working on a particular area of your life right now. You may be stuck and stagnant in a particular area. So definitely get the book. And whoever story resonates with you, reach out to them. It's called The Coaches Connect, The Missing Link Between Goals and Accomplishments. And you can download the ebook. It's on Kindle right now. So make small changes. Start with small changes. Celebrate those wins until you are comfortable enough to soar. Those are 4 things that you can do that you can apply right away so that you can begin to shift your mindset, heal from whatever trauma that put you in that place, and move forward with what you desire because you owe it to yourself to become everything you've ever dreamed. Thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time.